Hey, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good to see you on this beautiful fall morning, right? I think this is my favorite time of the year. Beautiful sun and a little bit cooler weather. So good to see everyone here this morning. We're so grateful to have our friend Phoenix here to be our soloist today. So we're going to start out with God is Good. Here we go. The sound of terror is filling up my ears. Sometimes it's all I hear. The headlines call and hopelessness appears and fills my heart with fear. And yet a peace is here. I feel it very near. 'Cause God is good all the time. I'm created just the same on the earth. In the now, we are breathing life today. Every heart, every soul is a gift from heaven's love. And life is good, and so it is. Yes, life is good, and so it is. Here we go. Though these seas are blowing in the wind, though darkness draws us in, the evening falls and light is growing dim, till morning dawns again, and calls the light within. Here we go. Oh yes, it burns within. 'Cause God is good all the time. I'm created just the same on the earth. In the now, we are breathing life today. Every heart, every soul is a gift from heaven's love. And life is good, and so it is. 'Cause God is good. God is good all the time. I'm created just the same on the earth. In the now, we are breathing life today. Every heart, every soul is a gift from heaven's love. And life is good, and so it is. Yes, life is good, and so it is. Life is, yes, life is good, and so it is.
Fantastic. What a great reminder, right? God is good all the time, and you're created just the same.
That's right.
Yes, you are.
That's right.
Well, good morning. I'm Beth O'Shields. I'm your administrator, continuing to hold the space this morning. And this morning it's with our longtime friend, Rev Evin Wilkins, who's going to be joining us today. So Reverend Lisa will be returning unofficially next weekend for the women's retreat. And then she finishes up her sabbatical and then kicks off our Fall Faith series with Finding Yourself in Transition on October the 20th. That's when our spirit groups start. We'll also be celebrating with a potluck that Sunday. So not next week, but the week after. So you can start thinking about what you're going to bring. You know, we love to break bread here with each other. We do like to eat. I was trying to put it in not quite those terms, but we do like to eat. And we're going to celebrate on the 20th as we kick that off. So anyway, more on that next week. So I don't know about all of you, but we've had some unsettling days this week, haven't we? Yeah, been a little unsettling. So much devastation that's happening around our world. So much heartbreak for me personally, for a lot of my friends, and loss in the southeast with the flooding from Hurricane Helene. It's just been awful. The bombings in the Middle East, you know? I mean, there's a lot. The misinformation that's creating even more division and mistrust, right? It's been a lot. And Reverend Evan's talk today is entitled Hope. And I'm grateful for that because we need some of it, right? We need to be boosted up with that. I have to say, I was watching an interview this weekend with Jane Fonda, who's out fighting misinformation. She is knocking on doors. Okay? I mean, wow. Anyway, she said, hope is a muscle like your heart. You have to activate it to feel it.
So good.
Think about that. Yeah. So, we're so blessed and fortunate, right, to have this community where hope is activated. We activate it every week when we walk through the doors. And we're grateful you're here. We try to help you put feet on your prayers, know how to do that, improving lives, taking that into the world. One of the ways we do that is with our prayer chaplains each week, and I'd like our prayer chaplains to stand. Annette and Susan are here to pray with you following the service today if something's on your heart. They do a wonderful job of putting those inspiring messages on the dial-a-prayer and do the Sunday meditations and the 12-power group study on Sunday mornings before the service. We're just so blessed with all of you, so thank you. So, we trust and live our mission, which is creating community, living love, teaching truth, serving spirit, and practicing peace. So I invite you to open yourself up to some hope this morning as we begin our service with an opening prayer. Settle into your seats. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that. Leave all of your hustle and bustle and everything that it took for you to get here. Set that aside for a moment. Mother, Father God, infinite spirit, our hearts are open and receptive to hope as we surround ourselves with the gifts of music, meditation, and message. We find it in the eyes and the arms of those in our community. We go deep into that quiet place where love and hope and peace reside. That heart space that connects us to each other and to all of creation. We send our loving intentions to those who are in need of hope this morning, those who feel defeated by water or war, those who are feeling disconnected and distracted. We remember to come back to this place, this holy place of knowing, of peace, deep inside ourselves, where there lies a well of hope. We hold this to be true for ourselves, for our community, for each other, and for the world, and for this feeling of oneness and connectedness that reminds us of who we truly are, divine beings living the human experience. We give thanks, and so it is. Amen. All right. At this time, I'm going to have Dixie come up and do some announcements. Dixie. It's nice to share.
This is sharing. This is Beth giving me all these announcements to do because there are a lot. Spirit groups begin on October 20th as Lisa returns, and the book is called Finding Yourself in Transition. Sign-ups are still out on the desk. So we have 3 Zoom groups available for you, 3 in person, and 1 meeting in Vancouver in Patricia Pasternak's home. We have a few slots open still for the women's retreat, which is happening next weekend, Friday evening from 7 to 9, and then kicking off in the morning on Saturday from 9:30 till 3:30. Karen Drucker will also be here for Sunday service. So again, sign up if you haven't already. The slots are going fast. The men's retreat is November 22nd and 23rd. Pick up a flyer outside. We have still some vendor spaces for our wonderful holiday marketplace that is coming up on November 15th and 16th. The booths are $50 for anyone who's not a Unity person. If you're signing up for yourself, it's $40 a booth still. And I want to talk to you about the silent auction that is happening along with the holiday marketplace. I have some ideas for y'all. The items that seem to go best in a silent auction are those that involve experiences for folks. So if you have a skill that you can share by teaching some lessons, a bridge lesson, chess lesson, if you have the ability to teach a cooking lesson, or if you would like to have a dinner for a few people in your home as an auction item, those are the kinds of things that people seem to really love to give as auction items and to sign up for. One item that I heard of was someone who drove for a wine tour. If you've got an SUV that you wouldn't mind driving around to a few wineries with 4 or 5 people drinking wine. Lead a hike, do a tarot reading. Taxes, if somebody's an accountant and they could lend some help with taxes. Yoga lessons, whatever your skill or ability is that you might want to share and help build your business, think about it for the silent auction. We would love to have you. Our next community event is our business fair, which is slated for the end of January. The board is seeking a volunteer coordinator for this event. It's not a hard thing to do. It's a simple setup after Sunday service, and please see Suzanne Mulcahy if you're at all interested in learning about that opportunity. Our letter writing team thanks you, and we will be sending over 2,500 letters on the big send date. Yeah, awesome. Thank you all, you're amazing. They're continuing voter registration today, so please stop by and make sure that your addresses are correct. Additionally, Jen Lingenfelter is waiting for you after services in the lobby, or in the chapel rather, to get your stories, your testimonials, the things about unity that you want to share for our 100th anniversary. Yes. Yes, celebration. She'll be in the chapel. And Marianne Williamson is coming back to Unity of Portland. Tickets are selling like hotcakes for the evening of Tuesday, October 22nd. There are VIP tickets available. General admission is $45 with a copy of the book. And you can also purchase a streaming ticket for $20 so you can watch online if you're not able to attend in person. The music team is hosting a talent show on October 25th.
Yay!
Still looking for talent, people.
Not a lot.
Sign up. We could use some stand-up comedians for sure.
There you go.
Whatever hidden talents that you have, don't be hiding them anymore. Sign up for the talent show.
That's right.
Thank you. And Reverend Lisa, returning on the 20th, will be doing a Metaphysics 1 class on 6 Tuesdays beginning October 29th. This is a hybrid class on Zoom and in person. Expand your awareness of what is going on beyond our 5 senses and study what is beyond the physical. The cost for the class is $80 if paid up front, or $15 per class. Info about signups is in the lobby today. That's it. Yeah. Anybody who's new today, if you haven't received a welcome packet, I have one here, welcome packet. If you didn't get one when you came in, please raise your hand and one of our ushers will bring one to you. You definitely want to get on our mailing list by filling out this green card on the back, and that will enable you to find out all of the goings-on, many of which you've just heard about, but we might have secret ones. There's someone right there. And there is a red rose sticker on the front of your packet. If you're new, please put this on your lapel or on your name tag so we know who you are and can welcome you properly to Coffee and Connection, which is downstairs following the service. Come have some snacks. We love to eat. And we love to greet.
Yes.
So come join us. Thank y'all.
Time we have Alice. Everybody knows Alice. Come on up, Alice. Alice has a very special announcement for you this morning, a long-awaited project.
So, good morning. Good morning. It is with great joy and a lot of relief that I announce that our self-service lending library has been improved and is ready for an inspection tour. Okay. And here's a hint. It can get a whole lot better with a few more loving volunteers to work on it. Okay, so I frequently hear the comment that I didn't know we had one. Well, and that's because it is located at the south end of the balcony, way out of everybody's sight. Okay, so today we're going to remedy that. All right, so I need to say, for the benefit of those of you who can't climb the stairs, that what we have to offer for you is that the bookstore personnel, if they're not busy, can go upstairs and research a title for you. And you could also ask a friend to do the same thing. So, oh, and I forgot, I want to acknowledge some people who really worked hard on this project recently, and that would be PJ Jansen, Deborah Goldstein, Sharon Perigo, and Donna Kohlberg. Thank you to those people. Okay, here is the procedure. For those of you who are interested, immediately after the service, you need to go to the door to the upstairs marked enter, climb the stairs, turn right, turn left, follow the arrows, and look and see what is there for you. So basically, notice the sections, the content, the procedures that are there, and the signage. Okay, and specifically notice that there's one whole bookshelf that has Unity books that are in print, and then there's a section that has what Reverend Lisa recommends. And so while you're walking through, also pick up information sheet that has a map that shows where everything is. Oh, and I forgot to mention the most important thing. It's always open when the church is open. And it is, in another way, it's open to the balcony, it's open to down here, which means voices can carry. So while you're using the library, it's important that you be quiet and silence your cell phone. Okay, back to the procedure where I was. Okay, you're walking through there, and this is not the time to browse, not the time to check out a book. This is just a walkthrough. So then, as you exit across the front of the balcony, you will notice that there's books on the chairs, and you're invited to take one as a gift. Now, these are duplicates of books that are already on the shelves and have been donated to this bookstore over the 80 or 90 years that it's been in existence. So you grab a book, head on down to Connection Hour. Remember, just up, walk through, observe, get your book, and off to Connection Hour. And it is the hope that the books in this library will help you find the answers that you need, provide the inspiration to keep on working toward them, and to provide, well, increase your knowledge base and provide entertainment along the spiritual journey. So, all right, thank you so much, and see you upstairs.
Yay.
Alice, thank you so much. Alice has put a lot of time into this, as you can tell. And this has been long-standing. You know, we have so much going on all the time that she's worked on it, and her volunteers have worked on it a little bit at a time, getting it ready. But it's ready now. So remember, you're going to go in this side, go across, and come down. You got the drill. Okay. Now we're going to enjoy congregational song.
Yay,
Everybody stand.
yeah. All right, we're going to sing In the Name of Love. Here we go.
Okay.
With a heart of grace overflowing us, decorate this place as it is below, so it is above. May we always stand in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one. In the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one. In the name of love. In the name of love. In the name of love, with the heart of grace overflowing us, decorate this place as it is below, so it is above. May we always stand in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one. In the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one. In the name of love. 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 Here we go with the veil. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one. In the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one. In the name of love in the veil. And when the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one. In the name of, when the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one. In the name of love, name of love. In the 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 name
Yes, thank you. And in the name of love, now is the time where we greet our neighbors with a handshake, hug, or a bow. Before we move into some quiet moments of meditation, I know that the intro song to the meditation this morning is Surely the Presence. And I just want to acknowledge that there is a presence here this morning that we are acknowledging.
That's right.
And that is the presence of Jackie Mullins, who passed away unexpectedly. And the choir has honored her with a candle on her stool this morning and her Dr. Seuss mug, beloved Dr. Seuss mug. So anyway, as we move into meditation, we just hold a soft place in our heart for her and a place of gratitude. And we're going to turn this over to Reverend Evin and the choir.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
So now is the time when we move into our period of meditation, and I just invite you now to be still and to truly feel the presence that's in this place, to feel the presence as it moves around you and in you and through you. This presence as it touches each and every person in this place. Just allow yourself to become still and to just breathe in this moment, this beautiful present moment. And as we breathe today, our theme is hope. We all have things that we hope for, things that we want to see in our lives, things that we want to see in this world, things that we want to experience and to see others experience. So today I invite you to be willing to allow that hope that's within you to really come forward and become a powerful force. And as we do that today, I invite you to, in this moment, to just begin to just sit back and to visualize what it is that you hope for, to visualize what it is that you hope to see in this world and in your experience. And as you begin to visualize how you want your experience to appear to you, I'll also ask you to go just a little bit further and to allow yourself to feel that hope, that excitement as it builds within. Seeing the world that you want to see, the world that you hope for, come into being, come into manifestation. And I'd like to ask you to move in just to a brief period of silence. And while we're in that silence, to continue to visualize, and more importantly, to allow yourself to feel that hope as it moves through you, as we move into just a brief moment of silence together. As you begin to bring your consciousness back to this room, I invite you to know that that hope doesn't stay here. It doesn't stay here when you leave this space today. It stays with you because it is within you. It is a part of you. It is a part of who you are. And I invite you now to never allow yourself to lose that hope, to know that it's always there, always willing, and always ready for you anytime you need it. So I invite you to now just to remember hope and to never lose hope. And so it is. Namaste.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of love is in this place. You're broken down and tired of living life on this merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, and we're gonna walk it out and move mountains. We're gonna walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up and do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up and do it 1,000 times again. For isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. I know you feel like dying, but I promise you we'll take the world to its feet. Ooh, mountains, bring it to its feet and mountains. And I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up and do it 1,000 times again. For you.
we need is hope, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other, and we will rise, we will rise, we'll rise up. We'll rise up, rise like the day. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up and do it 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, rise like the day. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up and do it 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, rise like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up and do it 1,000 times again.
Wow. I don't even think I could follow that. Now let's give another round of applause to Phoenix, to Michael, to our choir, to our musicians. Woo. I'm actually kind of starting to think, I noticed the theme this morning, I've heard more than once that you all like to eat. So I'm thinking maybe I should have brought some donuts or something for a bribe, so. Okay, they're downstairs, okay. I'll pretend like I brought those donuts that are downstairs. So hopefully I can make some friends here. For those of you I'm not already friends with, but anyway. So how's everybody feeling this morning? Well, Beth already mentioned my name, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Rev Evin Wilkins. People call me Rev Evan. Some people call me Aaron, whatever. I come to it all, so just feel free to call me what you need to. But as we mentioned, so the title of today's talk is Hope. And I like to start my talks with questions. So I want to ask, is there anybody here who has never had hope? Okay, I was thinking I probably would not see a hand. Okay, well, maybe a couple over here, but okay. But most of us have all, at one point or the other, held hope, right? Hope that something was going to happen the way that we wanted it to happen, or the world was going to somehow look the way that we wanted it to look. Now, we've got a lot, this is probably no secret, but we have a lot of stuff being thrown at us right now, don't we? And I'm not talking about just our country. We've got, as Beth mentioned earlier, we've got the fighting in the Middle East. We've got people that are fleeing their home countries for a better life. All hoping that there's a better way to experience life. Then, of course, we have our own country. We've got people rebuilding after the hurricane devastation. Hope that their basic needs will be met. Hoping that they'll even have running water and electricity. People rebuilding their lives, trying to get them to some semblance of what they once were. And then we've got this one little thing that's also hanging over our heads. It's just this little thing called a presidential election. Hope that we somehow find our way to make a soft landing on the other side of it, right? And no matter who you're voting for, you're likely pretty hopeful that your preferred candidate is going to win, right? So in these things, we have a small, some current examples of hope. And for those of you who don't know me, I was a senior minister at the Unity of Madison in Madison, Wisconsin, And one of the books we chose for our book study was this book. It's called Don't Tell Me to Relax. Something I thought might be a little applicable right now. But Don't Tell Me to Relax, Emotional Resilience in an Age of Rage, Feels, and yes, Freakouts. And it's by an author named Ralph De La Rosa, really amazing guy. We were able to Zoom him in. He gave a live Zoom talk to my congregation, so a delightful man. If you haven't read the book, I highly recommend it, although I will give you a disclaimer. My church was okay with it, but there is some language in the book. He does drop a few bombs. So anyway, just to let you know, but it is a really good book. So if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. And it's a really interesting study on hope and emotional resilience as well, and how we can use hope and our emotional resilience together to build the lives that we want to build and to experience life the way that we want to experience life. And how we can use that hope and that emotional resilience together to help us navigate our way through life in all of the growth opportunities, whether they're pleasant or not, right? Because sometimes they're not always pleasant as they come our way. So I'm skipping ahead to chapter 8 of the book, where he begins to talk about two different roles that we play. And we may not even be aware of them, but there are two different roles that we play in our lives: the roles of the defender and the roles of the sage. Now, he starts off describing the role of the defender, and he does it by using just some basic biology. He talks about our instincts and how really they haven't evolved much over the centuries. You know, for instance, I've read many times over the last, it's been quite a while now, actually. I was going to say the last few years. It's been longer than that. But how sitting for long periods of time isn't good for our health. You know, and this is due to the fact that our bodies really just weren't made for it. You know, they were made to move, because moving is a way that our ancestors survived. You know, if you weren't moving, you weren't creating or keeping shelter over your head. You weren't eating, you weren't caring for your young. But on the other side of the role of the defender, we have the sage, the role of the sage. Now, this lies within the part of our brain that contains compassion, morality, willpower, our personality, those types of things that we often use to gauge our humanity. And this is what enables us also to identify and to connect with other people and other beings in general, you know, animals, plants even. Now, our author states it's a little closer to a Buddha, gentle enough to appreciate the innate preciousness of all human life and connect with others, strong enough to weather stormy seas. It's like a sage, confident enough to assert itself and its worth, but genuine enough to do the right thing, and here's the clincher, even when nobody's watching. So we've got the defender, and we've got the role of the sage. I kind of think about those cartoons, you know, where there was the devil and the angel on either shoulder. So we got the defender and the sage on either shoulder. But usually our need and desire to survive is the strongest of the two, right? And that's for good reason. You know, we have to survive. That is first and foremost. But we also want to be able to stick very close to the sage, because that's also what survival is all about. Survival of the goodness that we are, the way that we treat other beings, the way that we live, and even how we live our lives, even in the midst of all this division happening around us right now. But fortunately for most of us, you know, we aren't living back in a century where we have to hunt buffalo and other large game to survive, thank goodness. It's not likely any of us is going to be running across a prairie, you know, hunting animals. And if you do that, please let me know. I would like to hear the stories. You can find me on Facebook. But what I want to do, I want to take this sage thing and I want to run with it just a little bit today. Now, our author, Mr. De La Rosa, he tells us that we have three basic needs in order to survive. There's safety, there are feel-good rewards. We all like rewards, right? And belonging. We all want to belong. And what happens when we have these three things? We feel a sense of fulfillment, because when we have these three things, all of our needs are being met. We know that we're being taken care of. and that we're properly rewarded for our contributions, and that we have a sense of community. And how do these things play into our spiritual growth as well? Not just our physical needs, but our spiritual growth. I had a different school of thought enter my mind when I read this chapter. What if we didn't just think about these things in relation to ourselves? What if we turn them around and we also share them with others? And we help to ensure that others are also receiving their basic needs. How would things begin to look then? How do you think that would help our hope start to maybe look a little bit different? There are currently people out there in this world that don't feel safe, and in our country. Maybe they feel alienated due to government policies. Maybe someone has lost the roof over their head. How might we contribute to help ensure that those people also feel a sense of safety and reward? We've got people out there right now that are having to work 2 and 3 jobs, and even then feel as if they're still barely able to make ends meet. What can we do to also help ease their burden? In community, what can we do to ensure that we create spaces where all feel welcome? We can also maybe ask ourselves, do we even carry biases within ourselves that maybe we need to overcome? What can we do to work through those or to help other people work through theirs as best we can? But regarding belonging, our author also mentions a quote by Brené Brown. We cannot lose our belonging to each other, but we can forget it. So I wanted to read a section out of the book here that talks a little bit more about that. Just as a person breathing toxic air would find that in due time their lungs become toxic, it is impossible for us to live in a structurally racist, sexist, transphobic, and class-stratified society without internalizing the stereotypes we encounter about each other. This certainly plays a role in overt bigotry, consciously othering groups of people who don't resemble oneself or one's identified circle, and intentionally discriminating against them. It also results universally and even against our will in implicit bias. Implicit bias is the phenomenon of having subtle, unconscious feelings both for and against people and communities based on whether they resemble oneself or a group one identifies with. So let's pay special attention to that last part. Implicit bias is the phenomenon of having subtle, unconscious feelings both for and against people and communities based on whether they resemble oneself or a group one identifies with. So I want to pay special attention to that today because we need to ask ourselves why. And when we ask ourselves why, we can then begin to dig into the root of it, right? Now, chapter 9 of the book shifts gears slightly because this chapter is called Why We Hate. And he begs us to ask this question of ourselves. Is it because we truly hate, or is it something else entirely? Now, there are 2 statements in the book that really stuck out to me in relation to this. We humans tend to think, feel, and act like what we perceive is true. We don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. That was just such a very powerful statement to me. Those 2 statements I feel are extremely powerful because they remove the lens from our eyes. The lens that has perhaps forced us to not see things as they may truly be. And how does this happen? Part of it is our conditioning. Those beliefs and biases that we're raised with. I've seen those you probably have all seen them too, those online quizzes. And they ask people questions such as, do you prefer the mountains or the beach? Some might say the beach, and they might find it the most beautiful place on earth. And some might look at the beach and say, oh man, I see nothing but a lot of hot sand and water. And you want me to go to the beach to relax? I found that to be true in Texas where I'm from. That is not a relaxing beach, by the way. That sand will burn your feet. So if you ever go to the Texas beach, go during the wintertime is all I'm going to say. But it's really all a matter of our perception. And often, again, how we were raised. Maybe our parents took us to the beach a lot as children, and there was good memories. Or maybe I went to the beach once and got stung by a jellyfish, and I'm like, never, ever again. And this is a small example, but of course, we can see how our perception can be set by certain instances in our lives. And once we become aware of this, how that we can begin the work to be able to break free. Now, our author mentions, he says, none of us individually created implicit bias. So that's the good news. It was here long before we were born. Yet if we want to get free of it for ourselves and others, it is our responsibility. So that may not be the not so good news. We have to do some work here. But our author lets us know that he delves more into this in a later chapter. But he does mention something in this one, and that's equality. He says equality is inherently vulnerable. It's a social state in which we must come down from our turret, look other people in the face, and be willing to see the world through their eyes. And I don't think anybody here who's heard me speak before will find this to be new information, but we must be willing to see the world through a different lens than the one that we might be used to. Sometimes it's having difficult conversations with people. Sometimes it is a willingness. And sometimes even, not only do we have to ask ourselves why, but we have to ask them why and be willing to listen. And that's not always easy. But another way we can do this is to seek out ways in which we can view the world and experiences, or through the experiences of others. Through the worldview of others. How might they see the world or navigate life in ways that we may not have even ever thought of? And this can be a frightening experience, right? It requires us moving into new territory that we might not be comfortable with or know anything about. And it requires us doing so with the notion that things might very well be different from what we've always believed them to be. And it may require us to also put ourselves out there a bit, risking some vulnerability. But it is through that vulnerability where we will find that openness and that willingness. And it may also require us to get involved in groups or organizations that introduce us to some of these things that we fear. Or to realize that our perception maybe is just that, our perception. And it's also about remembering that we are spiritual beings. And this is very useful when it comes to perceptions of people. Different races, the colors of our skin, our genders, our sexual orientations. At the end of the day and at the root of it all, we are all spiritual beings despite those things. Those things that we see, we perceive as being different are just that. It's perception. Thinking that we're separate also plays into that because that is also perception, right? Thinking that we shouldn't be involved in something because, that's happening to that group over there. So there's no reason I should concern myself with it. I'm not part of that group, that's them. Well, the thing that's happening to that group over there is also happening to you because there is no separation. And we can also perhaps decide that in that oneness, we want to experience life. To truly experience rather than merely sit back as spectators via our own perception. From my experience, I've had people ask me why I care. I've had people come to me and say, well, that doesn't affect you. Why do you care? Why should it matter to you? For this answer, I will refer to our master metaphysician here at Unity, Jesus. And he said in John 13:34 of the Bible, he said, a new commandment I give you, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, so may you also love one another. Love one another. I don't recall Jesus prefacing any of his words with pointing out the differences and saying, your skin color is different than mine. No, you don't have to love that person. Your sexual orientation is different. Nope, don't have to love that person. You have a different political belief? Nah, eh. He said, love one another. His words were all about love. Not loving only based on certain factors. Not love based on our perception. That perception that we're somehow different because we see the world through our own lens of perception. Those perceptions being based on what we've likely only been taught to believe. You see the difference. But these things must be brought to the forefront so that we can begin to work through perceptions that may not be completely accurate. Maybe you're even a part of a group that moves through life with privilege that not everyone has. And due to that privilege, haven't really been able to fully feel what it's like to view the world through someone else. Will working through some of those things make us feel uncomfortable? Yeah, they're gonna. But so what? It's in that discomfort that we can begin change. It's in that discomfort that we can begin to have hope and to also give hope to others. It's where we can, like I mentioned earlier, view the world through the experiences of others. So I ask you today, are you ready to move through your perceptions? Are you ready to see things through a new lens? What about the lens of another? Are you ready to perhaps see the world as it really is? Matrix, do you want the red pill or the blue pill? For those of you who have seen Matrix. But what about spirituality? Are you ready to really understand what exactly community truly is? It's not you and it's not me. It's us. It's each and every one of us. Do we dare hope? Do we dare hope that there's a beautiful horizon on the other side of this turmoil that's currently shifting all around us at this moment? That we can use those things that we talked about today to build the world and the experiences that we want to see. I don't care what so-called current leaders or ex-leaders continue to say. There's no you over there. There's no evil side. It's all of us. Each and every one of us deserves to feel safe and deserves to feel a part of this community of us. Each and every one of us deserves hope. Namaste. Trash on the floor.
Thank you, Reverend Evan, for those wonderful, inspiring words this morning. We're so grateful you were with us. Thanks. Inspiring us to hope. So as we prepare to give our gifts this morning, I want to stay on this theme today and reflect on the hope that Unity of Portland has given to those who have come seeking hope for nearly 100 years now. We've been consistently praying with and for this community for over 36,000 days. Wow. We want to continue that. We want to continue to serve you. We want to continue to serve our community well into the future. And you can help us with your support. There are several ways that you can give this morning. The easiest and quickest way is to use your smartphone. On the PushPay app, just text Unity of Portland to the number that's on that card that's in the backs of your chairs. Excuse me. There's also a QR code there which will take you right to the donation page. Or you can simply drop your gifts in the bag when it comes around today. We're so grateful for all the gifts that you share with this community. So let's hold our gifts in our hands and say that blessing together.
As me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. You with the sadness, don't be discouraged, oh I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside you makes you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy, can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you're taking all you can take, just call me up, 'cause you know I'll be there, and I'll see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors, your true colors, true colors are shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful like a rainbow.
Thank you. Such beautiful music today. How fortunate are we, right? Yeah. So I don't see any young people yet, but I know they're coming. Oh, here they come. Yeah, so let me just remind you, next week, Karen Drucker's going to be here on Sunday morning. We're super grateful for that. Always a wonderful, inspiring time with her. And I'll give you another little reminder today. As soon as we finish with our peace song and prayer, we're going to let the young people go out. We're going to let Rev Evin go to the back so he can greet you. And then those of you taking the library tour will proceed following that and head on up the left side of the library. Okay, come on in, kids.
You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you. You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you.
Good morning. We're really happy to be here today. Barbara is going to a granddaughter's wedding. So we've had fun downstairs. I feel like we always have fun. Oh, that's right. Did you want to share? No? Okay. Would you like to tell them something we did today that you liked or that you learned?
Hi, I'm Wyatt. You probably know me, guys. So, what we learned about is there was this book. What was it? It's called I Am You Ubuntu. So that's a new word we learned. So pretty much what the book is about is like if you're mean to someone, then pretty much that person would be mean to someone else. So you pretty much have to do a community. So it's pretty much like a community. So if you're nice to someone, then that person's nice to another person. So it goes in a circle.
That's awesome. Hey, everybody. Today, my name's Tony, and I was working with the Uniteens today, and we were talking about what's another word for unity, and we came up with oneness. Yeah. And we talked about oneness, and we each talked about 5 things. I won't read them all to you, but just for example, I honor the inherent worth of every being, knowing that all life is sacred.
Very good.
One more. I'm a little bit like a bit of a ham myself. How about this one? I visualize a world where everyone is included and valued for who they are. Yeah. And so I'm not real big on art projects, but the kids are. And on their own, they created these beautiful oneness banners where they took all the sayings, split them up, and kept them so they'd have them in one piece there, and did a spontaneous oneness art project. So I'm very proud of them. It was a great day. Thank you.
How wonderful. Thank you to our youth ed leaders. We are so blessed with them leading our young people. All right, if everybody will stand, we'll close our service out with our peace song.
Okay, here we go. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, and we all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it
And now join me in saying our unity prayer together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God surrounds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Beautiful. All right, let's let the young people go on out.
1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you.